Mr. Foreign Minister, we appreciate the time.
My pleasure.
Are you open to direct talks with the Trump administration to try to find a solution that could de-escalate heightened regional tension after all that's happened?
Well, we are open to talks, not direct for the time being. If they are coming for a win-win solution, I am ready to engage with them. I mean that we are ready to do any confidence-building measure needed to prove that Iran's nuclear program is peaceful and would remain peaceful forever, and Iran would never go for nuclear weapons, and in return, we expect them to lift their sanctions. This is a win-win game, and we are ready to engage in that. We cannot start these negotiations in a direct way. We still prefer indirect negotiations.
Were you truly empowered to make a deal if it came to that? There are people, obviously, who wonder whether you are empowered by the Ayatollah to make such a deal. Are you?
Well, of course, I was empowered to make a deal. If you ask me about the negotiations I had with Mr. Witkoff, I think there was a possibility to make a deal. I told Mr. Witkoff very clearly several times that if the purpose of these talks is to achieve a deal in which Iran commits itself permanently not to go for nuclear weapons, that deal is achievable. But if you want to deprive us from our legitimate rights, including, enrichment, that is not going to happen.
But why not import enriched uranium, as other countries do, as part of the deal? Why not do it that way?
Well, because this is an achievement, a scientific achievement that we have been achieved by ourselves. Why we should import something that we can produce by ourselves?
Because you take it past the percentage. You take it to 90% or 60% and instead of 35%.
No. We never go to 90%. We remain committed to below 5% for, to produce fuel for nuclear power plants. And we also enriched up to 20% because we have a research reactor in Tehran, which is called Tehran Research Reactor, TRR. So we are enriching uranium for our own needs. And we once went up to 60%, and that was after the sabotage in our nuclear facilities. And then we, go up to 60%. But I was a negotiator at that time. I told our interlocutors that we immediately go down if a nuclear deal is achieved.
Mr. Foreign Minister, what is the extent of the damage to the nuclear enrichment program after these attacks?
Well, our facilities have been damaged, seriously damaged, the extent of which is now under evaluation by our Atomic Energy Organization. But as far as I know, they are seriously damaged.
Did the already enriched material survive? Is it accessible?
Well, I have no detailed information. As I said, our Atomic Energy Organization is responsible for that. They are now trying to, evaluate what has exactly happened to our nuclear material, to our enriched material, and we will soon inform, the agency, IAEA, about the exact, that what has exactly happened to our enriched uranium. We have not stopped our cooperation with the agency. We continue working with them. We need a new modality because the facilities have been destroyed.
So you're saying that you may allow UN inspectors back into your country, all the sites, the IAEA to see all the sites?
Well, based on the modality that we come to with the agency, that would be possible. Case by case, So any request by the agency to visit any place or to send inspectors or whatever should be carefully considered by our Supreme National Security Council because of the safety and security concerns.
Understanding those concerns, does Iran plan to reconstitute its enrichment program? Is it continuing now, or has the damage been so severe that it is all stopped?
It is now stopped because, yes, damages are serious and severe. But obviously, we cannot give up our enrichment because it is an achievement of our own scientists. And now, more than that, it is a question of national pride. Our enrichment is so dear to us. We are ready to engage into negotiation to make sure that our enrichment is only for peaceful purposes. We prefer a negotiated solution. Right. We are not ready to give up something which is now a matter of dignity for the Iranian people, a matter of national pride. Mm-hmm. So rest assured that we want to continue our enrichment, but of course we prefer a negotiated solution for that.
Mr. Minister, with all due respect, obviously it's not just the U.S. and Israel, but other world leaders who have concerns about the enrichment program. Why would you need to put it a half-mile under a mountain facility to protect it if it was a completely peaceful program? That's just some of the thoughts about it. Secondly, President Trump has said he would not hesitate to launch more strikes if Iran tries to rebuild its enrichment program. So what's your response to President Trump?
Because of the constant threats by Israelis, by the United States in the past, we had no way but to protect our facilities and to protect our material and protect our scientists. So my message to the United States is that let's go for a negotiated solution for Iran's nuclear program. And we did that in the past, in 2015, after 2.5 years of negotiation, in which I was a negotiator myself. We came to that solution. That was called JCPOA, or Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Maybe the current administration doesn't like that, but we can come to a similar deal, a better deal than that. I think that was proved that there is no military option to destroy our nuclear program. Yes, facilities have been destroyed. They are severely destroyed, but the technology is there. Our nuclear program, our enrichment program is not something imported from outside that can be destroyed by bombings. It is developed by ourselves. It is an achievement by ourselves. The technology is there. The scientists are there. The people who have run these facilities are there. Buildings can be rebuilt. Facilities can be rebuilt. Machines can be, replaced because the technology is there. I think the recent attack proved that there is no military option for our nuclear program. But I tell you, there is a negotiated solution for our nuclear program. We have done it once in the past. We are ready to do it once again.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.